All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to this
What's up?
Worship Innovators special stream. My name is Matt McCoy. I'm the founder of loopcommunity.com, and I'm with my friend Ryan Dahl, founder of PraiseCharts. How's it going, Ryan?
Hello, Matt. I'm finally being interviewed. Feels so great being on this
I
side.
know. It's
Take it
about
away.
time, man. So good to see you,
That's
man. So
right.
you're in Canada right now, right?
Oh yeah, I'm in Canada. That's right.
A? I'm surprised you don't have a
The
Tim
great
Hortons in your hand.
Vancouver. every morning I do, but last night my wife picked me up from work and we left my truck here, and I did not have a happy wife when I went to her this morning while she's doing her hair and being like, "Hey, I need a ride to work." She's like, that's right. Your
Yeah.
truck is at the office." So
I just have such a weird, distinct memory of you picking me up from the airport in Vancouver and us going straight to Tim Hortons. And I
yeah,
don't know.
that's
It
right.
was a good memory. I think it's because maybe I
Yeah,
hadn't had Tim Hortons I don't think I'd ever had Tim Hortons before. And then it actually
yeah,
kind of clicked to me that this is legit and this is a Canadian thing
yeah.
and we need it.
Tim
But
Hortons, to me, it's like it's every man's coffee. It's blue collar coffee. It's
yeah,
coffee when you don't have to show off. Starbucks, it's like, oh, I'm Starbucks. Got the app and, $6 for a
yeah.
coffee. But Tim Hortons, it's
It's
like, I can only afford a toonie. So there you go.
it's like our Dunkin' Donuts, but way better, I think.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
we're here to talk about the Worship
Anyway.
Innovators Conference. And the
Yeah.
Worship Innovators Conference
Excited.
is coming up. I know we're doing it in person live with people. Like, we've done it
Yeah.
virtually over the past year, but this is going to be even better because we're
Yeah.
going to actually have people and you're to shake hands
Yeah.
and hug and,
Love it.
hang out. So I'm
Yeah.
excited about that. You're coming. You're going to fly all the way from Canada, which means, that's a
Mm-hmm.
big deal. We're flying in the rock stars from
Oh yeah,
up
the rock
north.
stars. Oh, look at me. I don't know, but
But
I do love Chicago. Chicago is a beautiful city. It's easy to get to,
yeah.
and hey, you guys are there, so there you go.
And that time of year, we're doing it October 10, 11. Early October is one of the best times to be in Chicago because the fall is in full swing. It's like
Mm-hmm.
not too hot, not cold. It's a great time to be in Chicago. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about it. Before we dig into it, let's just talk about, first of all, what is the Worship Innovators Conference? And I've got the website pulled up here. If you go to
Okay.
worshipinnovators.com, you can check out the website. So we've got October 10 and 11. And here is what sets it apart from other worship conferences. We're bringing together worship leaders and innovators to help you become an expert at using tech in worship. Now, you and I have both been to a lot of worship conferences before.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of worship conferences that are very spiritual, like, hey, come, you're burned out, you're tired, come here and just get refreshed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Mm-hmm.
great. And there's a place for that. This conference is not going to be that. This conference, what sets
Right.
it apart is that it's very just practical training. It's like a
Yeah.
2-day university on how to do practical things in worship. And what I think
Yeah.
is really cool about this conference is that we're bringing together all of these companies who have created a product or a service that's helping worship leaders every single week. So
Yep.
worship artistry, right? They're doing training videos for worship songs. PraiseCharts, that's you. The number one place to get chord charts for songs.
Yep.
Loop Community on
That's right.
Tracks and Worship Tutorials, Planning Center. All of these companies are going to be not in the exhibitor hall. At a normal
Yeah.
conference, these companies are sitting in an exhibitor hall and people are walking by and stealing free pens and mints and drink koozies, right? Instead,
Yep.
these companies are going to be leading the conference. They are the headliners. They are the people
Yeah.
who are going to actually be teaching and speaking on the main stage and doing panels and workshops.
Yeah.
And you're going to be able to come to this conference and learn practical things. How do you write a chord chart? How do you print sheet music in a way that, makes it organized? How do
Yep.
you
Yep.
run a rehearsal? How do you plan a service that,
Yep.
all these just practical things that worship leaders need. And so I'm really passionate about this conference because I think there's nothing like it. I know there's nothing like it.
Yep. No.
And
You
so
know
you're going to
what,
be a part.
Matt?
Ryan, what do you think?
I don't know if people, I'm just remembering that I think the whole concept of Worship Innovators came when you and I were on the phone together and we're like, we need to do something. And why don't we just do it authentically from the ground up? Let's gather some friends together. And then I got to say, you really took the ball and ran with it. And I'm proud of you for that. But it did kind of start with the two of us. And
Yeah,
then it slowly, it grabbed on. And then I love the community of guys that we're working with because we're all like doing our little ministry business resource thing from this kind of authentic place of most of us were or are worship leaders, and we just kind of came across a problem when we're like, there's not a solution out there, and I just
right.
want to create it. Like Jason Hutzma and David Saltzgraf and yourself. I mean, just the list goes on. These are all
Yeah,
grassroots guys, and that innovator spirit, I think that's something that you and I connect about because we're not very corporate minded in the way we think, the way
right.
we run our companies. We're like owner founders. I mean, I know things have shifted with Loop certainly to some degree but still the spirit of it is like we're owner founders, and then we just innovated and came up with a solution, took a risk, and just
Yeah,
keep reinventing ourselves all the time.
yeah,
So people that come are going to be like, these are the guys that actually are doing the stuff. I'm literally, I don't sit and just do big, 100,000 or $1 million deals or whatever it is. I mean, I'm like writing chord charts, I'm editing charts, I am talking to people,
right.
having lunch, eating pizza. I'm just like in a little office here, three
Yeah,
people. I mean, PraiseCharts has more than three people working in it, but it's just a
yeah,
different vibe. And we're going to try and bring that to Chicago,
yeah,
um, where people will be like, wow, it's kind of refreshing seeing this community of guys who otherwise would probably just be competing against each other, but they've all decided to celebrate
yeah.
each other's unique offerings to the church. And so
All
I'm
Yeah,
excited
that's
about
what I
that.
love about it. All of these companies have created solutions to a problem. They saw a
Yeah.
problem, some sort of issue, a struggle that worship teams have or churches have, and they've created a solution. And so we're bringing them
Yeah.
all together in one place to just give you a ton of information and 2 days
Yeah.
of university training. And actually, I was going to say that in this live stream, we're going to give away 2 tickets to the Worship Innovators Conference. 2 tickets we're going to give
Yeah.
away. If you're watching this video, wherever you're watching it on Facebook, YouTube, type down in the chats to enter to win. I want you to type in what is the main problem or struggle that you are facing as a worship leader, as a worship team, as a band director.
Hmm.
What's a problem?
Hmm.
What is a barrier, a roadblock that you hit that's like, man, I wish we could get better sound checks, or I wish we had a better
Yeah.
sound mix, or I wish I knew how to run a live stream. Whatever it is, type it in there and you'll be entered to win. We're going to choose 2 people and give tickets away to the conference. So, Ryan, what would you say for people who come to Praise Charts?
Hmm.
What would you say is like the biggest struggle your customer typically is facing when they arrive at Praise Charts that they're trying
Hmm.
to solve?
Yeah. Honestly, I think I heard it really great. I was interviewing some artist actually last week. He's a part of, oh, I can't remember the band, but I'm always surprised when artists that I'm interviewing are like, when I'm not on stage or touring, I'm actually in praise charts every week. And he was like, I go to praise charts every week and I'm just looking for something to make me feel fresh again, like something to give me hope that on Sunday I could just bring a fresh word, a fresh melody, something to, bring have our church feel alive again. And because it's easy to kind of get in a rut and it's like, man, we've got our 30 songs and keep doing those songs and there's 10,000 new songs and I don't know which one to pick.
Yeah,
And if I did know which song to pick, then it's like, is that going to fit for our band? What key is it in? Does it fit our vocal range? Are there parts? All the questions that kind of come with that. So I think
right.
that's what we've tried to do with praise charts is boil down 25,000 songs into little morsels that people can be. I can sink my teeth around that. Like, I think last week, right, was Pentecost Sunday. So we were all like, here are specific songs that you can look at for Pentecost Sunday, because people in the previous couple of weeks, like right up until Friday, Saturday, even Sunday, were selling Pentecost songs on Sunday morning. So someone
Yeah.
out there is waking up on Sunday
Was
morning going,
majorly procrastinating.
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And hey, just telling all you people, I am the worst of procrastinators. So we designed praise charts we sell Christmas Eve songs on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do. So,
And you guys
and
make
I
it very
love,
easy to find them.
yeah, that's right. So it's not just about the charts. It's actually one step before the charts. It's finding the right song and kind of whittling it down. And we have resources like I feel like Loop Community a lot might be, I know the song I want, but I need the track for it.
Yeah.
And other places, but we've tried to make praise charts of, I'm not quite sure what's the right song. And
Mm.
so I want to swim around a little bit. And I think we did a major
Yeah.
redesign of praise
Let's look at
charts.
it right now.
What? Yeah.
I have it up right now.
Oh,
Because yeah, it
awesome.
looks so slick. I love this
Yeah.
website. I love browsing it. I was actually on here
Yeah.
last Saturday. My pastor was like, I'm doing a sermon on forgiveness and I need a
Yeah.
closing song that's about forgiveness. And you know what I did? I came to Praise Charts and I
Oh,
clicked on
yeah.
themes
Yeah.
and I came down here and looked for forgiveness.
Forgiveness. Yep.
And
And there you
it
go.
gave me all these song ideas. And I ended up landing on "O Come to the Altar" because I
Yep.
clicked on it and I started looking at the lyrics and I saw, the Father's arms are open wide, forgiveness right here.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
and I don't know, I was just like, this is going to be the right song. And
And do you know that, like, what we do is when songs come in, we'll look at the lyrics. I've specifically done this myself, and I'm just going through the lyrics, and then I write in the theme tag. It's about forgiveness, it's about the altar, all these kind of key words of the songs, so that when you're searching for that specific word, it's going to
yeah,
show up somewheres there.
I
And even on
love
that list,
this.
yeah, on that list beforehand, just go back one screen. Another thing you can just know is that of all those songs on forgiveness, the ones at the top are going to be the ones that are most active in the worship community around the world. So it's not like,
Oh,
you have to wonder if you got to scroll down to
yeah.
page 22. Like,
They're
if you look
sorted
at the
by
top of that,
popularity.
yeah, what is that top song there? House of the
House of
Lord.
the Lord.
Yeah, which is also, obviously, it's a song about forgiveness, and obviously it's a really significant song
Yeah,
in our day and age. So usually you'll only maybe have to do one or two little scrolls to
yeah,
find something that's very, very viable. And all the lists in praise charts, and we have more than 1,000 of them, they're all ultimately controlled by the activity that our users, and we have thousands and thousands of users using praise charts. So it's a
yeah.
very community driven kind of interface, I guess you
I
might say.
just love
Yeah.
this whole theme idea. This is actually something I would love to implement at Loop Community because it really helps a worship leader. I love how
Yeah.
deep you guys got into themes. Like you've got everything:
Right.
army, anthem, angels. I saw one down here, Mary.
Yeah.
Not my wife, but Mary, Mother of Jesus
Okay.
here.
Do you want to know? Here's a little background of how we got to all those words. So I actually did a database export of every single word in all the lyrics of all the songs we had, and I could tell how many times those words showed up. So I had a massive Excel spreadsheet, and then I just started going off and picking off words that I was like,
Wow.
clearly this is a meaningful word, that's a meaningful word, that's a meaningful word. And so obviously we didn't choose words like and if and the and whatever. You
Right.
just get rid of all of that. And then there's a lot of words interesting as well. Like you have
Like,
cross, crucifixion, crucify. Those all kind of mean the same
yeah.
thing. So we try to bring some of that together, consolidate the results. But there's a lot of thought that went into this whole
Yeah, I was gonna
theme
say,
world. Yeah.
I think that's so brilliant. But like here's a word, encouragement, and it says there's 608 songs. So I doubt the
Yeah.
word encouragement was in the lyrics, but you probably somehow
Right.
chose words that encompassed
Yep.
encouragement. Yeah,
Yep.
I love it.
Encourage.
This is
Yeah. And all of that.
such a great,
But definitely that is a thing. You were asking what people are looking for, and certainly beyond the music, it's just finding the right song and then having the peace of mind to go, well, if I find the right song, most likely if it's in the top
yeah,
reasonable use of the worship leading community around the world, we're probably going to have charts more than a chord
yeah,
chart. It's going to have like piano, vocal. And that would
yeah,
be another thing I find too is a lot of people are coming to praise charts who are like, my piano player doesn't quite know how to just read off a chord chart. And every time they do, it's awkward. And so people love our piano parts because they're written like a worship
yeah,
pianist should play the
yeah,
song. And I'm a pianist, and I just was like, don't clutter don't play all over the keyboard. And
yeah, right.
just create space, um, and be minimalist in some
Yeah.
ways, and you'll sound great. So we give you
I'll
some of
say
those licks and tools.
one thing I really love about praise charts is that
Yeah,
if I search for a song like The Blessing,
yeah,
okay, first of all, your search is amazing and it comes up immediately.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but I love that all of your products are based around the arrangement. That you've got
Right.
The Blessing
Yeah,
by Elevation Worship, or you've got The Blessing by Carrie
yeah,
Job, or you've got The Blessing by
yeah,
Bethel Music, because The Blessing is
yeah,
not the same for all of those
no,
arrangements. Like, it's
yeah,
maybe the same song, like, as far as, like, the
yeah.
bones or the core of it, but as
Mm-hmm.
far as when you're looking at a chord chart, it's not the same song, and I love
Mm-hmm.
that praise charts, what sets them apart is that it's based around the arrangement.
Yeah. But I'll
So
tell
you
you
got
this
Carrie
is
Job.
I like to encourage people, once you've bought the song, you can actually, with the chord chart, you can edit it. So I still like to encourage people, if they have the capacity, to make a song still somehow reflect your own personality. And maybe it's just, I don't know, the way you play it, but it can be as much as, I'm going to take out the intro or extend it, or I'm going to put a tag on the end, or whatever, so that we're not just mimickers. In And that can be a reality for some people and not so much for others. Depends
Yeah.
how complex you go into the music. But definitely,
So
when you, at least as a starting base, when you come to praise charts, every measure and every chord will be on exactly the right syllable or before the word, or you're not going to have random chords like in awkward places. And the phrasing of the chord charts, it's all very, very intentional. Yeah.
yeah, I love it. I think it's so good. So let's talk about I saw a new feature that you
Yeah.
guys released like maybe a couple days ago
Mhm.
that when I saw
Yeah.
it, I was like, brilliant. Why I thought it was such a great idea and it was let's see if I can even find it. Oh, maybe I have to log in, which I don't even know. Let's see if it lets me
Okay.
in.
Well, now
Okay.
everybody's going to know your password, so that's good.
I know. Hopefully no one looks.
Oh,
But
boom.
oh my gosh, look at this feature here. So you've always had digital download, which is kind of like a no
Yeah.
draw. But what is this?
Yeah.
Print and ship. So you'll
I
actually
know.
take that chord chart to, I don't have to go to the church office copier anymore.
Yeah.
I could just click, bam, add to cart, and you're going to mail it to my stage.
Yeah. Which, I mean, let's be honest, a chord chart, maybe you'll print it out. But if you're
Yeah.
talking about a 6-page octavo, because we're starting to do a lot more choral music, or,
Mm,
piano vocal or orchestration and stuff like that. So that's
yeah.
the reality of what it's really for. But believe it or not, people are ordering chord charts, and they're, sending them to the printer as well. The whole unique approach that we're taking, as opposed to, well, printed music has been around for a lot of years, but we have no warehouse. The music just gets literally printed within an hour, or a couple hours of when you order it, and then it's put in an envelope and sent off to you. So we have unlimited supply, no warehouse. It's all digitally connected in the back end to a printer somewhere in the States. I don't even know where they are
So
But
the price is the same, or am I doing this wrong?
No, you have to go to checkout, and then you're gonna select. There's
Then I'll
different.
pay for
So if you
shipping and
click
stuff.
yeah, there's a little bit of shipping and handling, and it's never really worth it. If you are just ordering one copy, it's going to be like, why would I pay $5 shipping on a $5 song? But if you're going to order 50 copies,
Yeah.
of say 3 or 4 songs, then you're getting into a little bit more investment, and the shipping is like a couple of percent more. It's not a big deal.
Okay. Got it.
So,
Fascinating.
that's
Well,
kind
I
of
think that's
the
such a
whole
great
world
idea.
behind it.
I think that's such a
Yeah,
great idea, the print and ship.
yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Ryan, let's
and I
talk
just
about,
wanted to
yeah.
say, oh, I was just gonna say as well that um, the print format, like for any of you out there who might have choirs and stuff, we're talking when you order the Octavo booklet, you're getting like a stapled, folded. It's got a nice cover on it. It's gonna look really great and fit exactly the shape and size of all the rest of your choral Octavo booklets. So I just want you to know that if you're ordering an orchestration or a chord chart, you're going to get single sheets. But if you order an Octavo booklet or something, you're going to get that nice folded booklet. So it's a legit printed, beautiful, nice, heavyweight paper, all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be good. It is
I think
good.
that's awesome. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, the other thing I also want to point out is these stage charts. And these are completely free. No lyrics,
Yep.
but sometimes this is like what I'd write down on a napkin and throw it down at the bottom of my mic stand just for like, oh, this is a
Yep.
new song. I got to just remember the chord progression. This is
Yep.
that, but completely free
Yep.
and done for me. This is also a really great product.
I want to tell you a little back end story of these stage charts. So we got permission because these are copyrighted. These songs are copyrighted, and technically these arrangements, like that's why you see a copyright line, and it's all legit and all that. The first few months, we were just giving them away for free in a deal with the publishers that we made, but then we realized that we need to start paying royalties on these. And we had to come to a decision of, are we going to still give them away for free? And then we have to pay that, or are we going to start charging? And so we decided to keep them free. So I just want you to know, whenever you download a stage chart from PraiseCharts, we're footing a little bit of the bill so that you can have that. But we want you to have a great resource. Yeah. And it's a nice little kind of gateway into PraiseCharts. It's a very easy to access, practical resource. You can make copies of it. Maybe put that on your CCLI license or something like that. But
that's great. I didn't know that. I think that's really cool.
And I have personally made every single one of them. So I sit here right at this desk. I listen to the songs. I pour over the lead sheet. I consolidate down all of the chord progressions. It's like an artistic little expression for myself. I love the process of it, of seeing how songs break down. And that's kind of my own fascination with the world of PraiseCharts.
So I'm not going to hit this download button because then you'll get charged. But that's pretty cool.
Pennies would be dropping from my bank account if you did that. So no,
right,
I want to encourage all of you, don't think twice about getting stage charts. It's worth it for us to invest into you. So we'd love it.
You know what's funny is I just got a receipt from PraiseCharts. So I wonder if I accidentally clicked it. Literally a receipt just dropped in my inbox. I don't know what happened.
Oh. Do you want me to give you a refund? Ryan. I can arrange a refund for you right now if you want.
I guess I'm doing Holy Spirit this weekend.
Okay. Well, it was Pentecost. It was Pentecost last Sunday, so that's why that was number one song.
I'm doing that song now. Okay. So God must have meant for me to do that one.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what you're teaching about. So where are you at here on this list? You're here. Where are you? There you are. With a race car behind you.
The General Lee. I remember when I took that picture with the General Lee behind me.
You got the car behind you. Yeah, that's cool. So
Yeah.
let's see what we got here. What are you teaching on? And let's just talk about the classes you're doing. And maybe we're changing your classes and we need to update the website. But okay,
I
we've
think
got
so.
one
I
for you.
just sent, what's it
Tell us
called?
about what you're going to teach on.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm thinking about something that's relevant to the world of praise charts. Obviously, charts and how to read charts and how to write charts and edit them and things like that. But one of the topics that I've been most excited in teaching, and I think it's kind of an irony that I'm the owner of a sheet music company and I'm teaching people how to have less dependence on sheet music. So that's
Yeah.
probably one of the most passionate topics that I like to teach about is it's great. People, you come, you buy your sheet music, you practice with the band, but then when I'm in church, I just get this angsty feeling when I see the worship leaders with their heads buried in stands and I see
Yeah.
papers leaking over those black stands, and then between songs there's like this
Yeah.
awkward transition and people are like folding papers over, and oh, heaven forbid the pages like drop onto the
Yeah.
floor, and then it's a
Yeah.
mess. All because we're dependent on this music on a Sunday morning. So
I see
so
chord
that's
chart.
kind of, yeah,
I see chord charts like training wheels. They exist so that you won't need them
yeah, yeah,
eventually. Like
yeah.
you learn the song, you absorb the song, and then you can play the song and just enjoy playing it,
That's
which is
right.
the point. That's why it exists.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you can see in praise charts, for example, you take a song like Gyra. Let's just take a song like Gyra by Elevation. It's got that very
Yeah.
specific, iconic kind of a hook in the beginning. Da da da
Yeah.
da da.
And
I
it's a
mean, I'm a
complex
pianist, and
arrangement
I'm
too.
like, it is. But so there's a song. This is how you can use praise charts: is go, you get the piano sheet and you figure out that specific hook because it's iconic to the song, right? And then
Hmm.
the rest of the song you can pretty much play with the progressions. So you can transition to the chord chart. And if you've memorized or you've figured out that hook line and are playing it properly,
Hmm.
and then now you can transition to the stage chart because you're like, now I know the hook. I know how the song goes. Now I just need the core progressions. And you realize if you were ever to pull up Gyra, you'd be like, wow, the song is actually not that complex. And I thought it was so complex.
Yeah.
And now you're just that close from deciding on Sunday morning, what if I just let that piece of paper go and took a risk, and so I've kind of experienced that in a church I was a part of where they had a policy of there's no sheet music on the stage. So I started seeing some of my bandmates, they would have these little cheat sheets literally on the floor in front of them, like the bass player or whatever. That's where I got the idea of stage charts, and that's why I make the font so big, and because they're trying to hide the fact that they've got little cues. Well, for
Yeah.
me, I would take my iPhone and stick it on my piano and I would take the little notes app in my iPhone and just write out little progressions because I just was like, I just need a little reminder just in case I get nervous and forget. But the point is, I'm trying to push myself towards being less dependent. And then what happens is when you get to that place and the whole band is on side, even if you're using a multi-track, you can get to the end of the multi-track and now the song is like moving into more of maybe a free worship moment. And if you got an MD, the MD could go, okay, guys, we're going to riff on a 1-4-6. Like, do you even know what I'm saying there? Well, if you
Hmm.
understood stage charts, I would be like, I'm in the key of D. Boom. I'm going to play D, G, B minor on repeat. And I'm telling you, like, it sounds very techie or whatever, unless you
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying. And then this is how worship can be led. You should, if you ever listen to, there's some YouTube videos on what an MD is saying in behind elevation when they do worship on a Sunday morning. It's like mind-boggling how the MD is calling out, okay, guys, you know, let's pound on a 1-2-4, boom, and the band just responds. It's a language that they're capturing.
Hmm.
So
That's
I don't know.
awesome.
I'm no pro on this, but I think I want to try to inspire people at least to push themselves towards understanding how music is made up and not just reading music as notes on a page.
Yeah,
So,
where it's like a crutch almost.
yeah, that's right.
Because then you can just
That's right.
enjoy
And
playing, enjoy the
yeah,
music.
yeah. And I kind of
I
feel
love
like
that.
what better person to teach that than the guy that owns the sheet music company? Because, it's
Yeah,
like, of course, I want to sell sheet music. And at the same time, I'm telling you to not depend on it. So I feel
yeah.
like it's a interesting irony.
It is interesting irony, but it's
Yeah.
funny because I think you and I both have to hold that, and that we hold those products a little lightly. Like even just, I was thinking last week, I was leading worship and we were going to use tracks for every song. Like we had multi-tracks
Hmm.
set up, ready to go. And honestly, I just was sensing and feeling like the tracks were too much,
Yeah.
and that we needed to just really be unlocked
Yeah.
a little bit more. And I looked at the
Yeah.
drummer and I'm like, just close the iPad. We're not using
Yeah.
tracks this weekend. And they're
Yeah.
like, no tracks from Mr. Loop community, no tracks. And I'm like, yeah, we don't need them.
Yeah.
And I think that it all comes down to just like having discernment on like when a product is actually helpful and when it's not.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
many times it is, but there's other times you don't need it. And
Yeah.
I do think that a lot of times people really rely too heavily on a chord chart. They've got their
Yeah.
music stand like 5 feet up off the ground, like they're just staring at the whole
I know.
time. And it's like, man,
Yeah.
you missed it. Like, were you ever like with us? Did you ever like really just
Hmm.
enjoy the music? They almost seem like stressed out, like reading the chord chart. And
Hmm.
I just think that you should be free in music. And the chord chart's
Yeah.
there to help you get to that point. I use
Yeah.
chord charts a lot in rehearsal and sound check. And
Yeah.
then once we've gone through the run
Yeah.
through,
Yeah.
they go
Yeah.
away.
Let her go.
Let it
That's
go.
right.
And you got to take the training wheels off at some point. So
I was
are,
hoping, and I don't know if we're going to do this, but I suggested, Matt, for the Worship Innovators Conference, that one of our worship sets, we could
yeah,
experience a time of worship, which is decidedly non-techie,
not tech. Yeah.
and right, and just to remind people and show people what that looks like, how it's
Yeah.
done,
Yeah.
um, that kind
I
of
do
thing.
think that
So
would be a really cool
I'm
contrast.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
I love that idea. And just showing that, it doesn't have to be all about technology.
Yeah.
And
My
for churches
experience
too.
as a Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, and for churches too, who like really can't embrace all the technology because maybe they don't have the budgets or the
Yeah.
people to run it. They don't feel like they are incapable of having a worship time without technology.
Yeah.
Like we should show them that
Yeah.
no, it's possible. You don't have to have it. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
what were you going to say, Ryan?
Yeah. I was gonna say the place where I am now, I'm not often leading worship in a Sunday church, but there's a ministry that I am regularly lead worship, and it's just a small gathering of it's like a recovery home for men and for women. And I go to these places on Tuesday or Friday mornings, and usually what I'll do is my list will say have 12 or 14 songs, but I know I'm only leading 8 or 9, but I've
Yeah.
picked more than I need.
Mm.
And then even the charts, sometimes I will simplify the charts down because I just need a reminder for the lyrics and the main chord progressions. And I'm trying to now exercise myself to just go, okay, like I can invent this moment right here in this time that we have together. It's just me on the stage, so I don't happen to have a band and all of that, but I'm just currently in a process of personally
Yeah.
exercising freedom, and also trying to push myself a little bit to go, okay, even when I'm in a song and I've like done the verse, chorus, verse, bridge, and I'm personally trying to go, okay, we'll sing out a little bit, like play that
Yeah.
chord progression and sing something that's coming to my mind, I mean,
Yeah.
that kind of more free worship. It's a little bit intimidating if I don't come
Yeah.
from a charismatic background. I'm a
Totally.
Mennonite brethren, so
Yeah.
so it takes being intentional and then setting yourself up for that. Like when I give my set list to the guys that are doing all the words, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Holy crap, 18 songs! This is going to go forever." And I
Yeah.
just have to
That's
remind
tough.
them to say, "Okay, you just pick the song that I go to." And now that
Yeah.
doesn't work for all Sunday morning context, but sometimes it can work. And
Yeah.
there's a skill set that goes behind being able to do that that I kind of want to, help share, encourage, and talk about.
There
So,
Yeah, I
yeah.
love that. And it is a skill set that has to be just worked on. And once you feel
Yeah.
comfortable, once you know songs, once they're like buried inside of you, like you just know, you can
Yep.
jump to them, in the moment. You could
That's
actually
right.
like put songs together. It's funny. This is a funny story. Like 2 weeks ago at the end of the service, I was singing a song for the closing song during communion, Lamb of God by Vertical Worship.
Yep.
And I should have had a chord chart in front of me actually in this scenario, because what happened is that I was actually in the room when they actually first wrote that song. Like and I heard it, and it was a totally different chorus. It was a completely different chorus.
Hmm.
And I started singing the song, and I started singing the original chorus, which no one has ever heard before. No
Oh,
one knows what it is.
yeah.
And as I'm halfway through, as I'm singing, I'm thinking, why are there no lyrics on the screen? Oh, I'm singing the completely wrong chorus for this song, and the PowerPoint people are probably like the ProPresenter people are probably like, "What song is he singing?" Because no one's ever heard this
Yeah.
chorus before.
Yeah.
And,
Hilarious.
but it was just so burned in me that I, like, then had to, like, do a little, jump to the
Yeah.
original seamlessly.
And
But,
so what? I mean, people thought you were just free worshiping, and
I know. They
it's
probably thought I was writing
okay.
a chorus, like, on the
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
So,
Very good.
anyways,
Funny.
so, alright, let's look back at the Worship Innovators website. We've got all these workshops that are gonna be really, really great.
Hmm.
And so registration is $99 a person. So if you guys are trying to think about coming to this, you should register now, because we're in early bird pricing. It's $100 basically a person. Or if you bring your team, it's $50 a person. Now, I think
Mm.
everybody should bring their
It's too
team if you
cheap.
can. I think it might be too cheap. Here's why
Yeah.
I think people should bring their team, is because this is going to be like intense training for 2 days, a lot of information. If you have more people there, they can all absorb different elements of it. But also, what I've found is that when I go to a worship conference, I leave feeling very inspired. And I leave feeling motivated and wanting to implement new things at my church. And you might be a worship leader who maybe you're trying to instill inspiration in your guitar player to get new tone, or to learn their parts more. And it's much harder to inspire people by just telling them than if they experience it themselves. So if they come, they might leave really like, hey, let's try that. Like, we've never done, in-ear monitors. Like, let's
Yeah.
try it. Or we've never played to a click. Let's try it. Instead of you bringing it back to them and trying to convince them why. So go to worshipinnovators.com, get your tickets. Ryan, I'm pumped, man. I think it's going to be a great time.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
think?
Well, the people that come there, we're going to be developing a community of worship leaders who have that innovative spirit in and of themselves. Because
Yep.
this whole idea of worship innovators isn't just about, oh, come and meet the
Right.
innovators. It's
Right.
about like, come and be an innovator, come and share in the innovative spirit, and let's grow and learn and expand and think
Yeah.
differently, and all of that. That's what we mean by the worship innovators. And we're just trying to
Yeah.
demonstrate what it looks like to be a community among us, and I
Yeah.
think that the way we're going to lead this conference will feel like that was kind of different than a lot of the
Hmm.
other conferences I go to, and not to diss any of the other ones, but
Yeah.
we're trying to be even innovative in how we do this, right? How we present.
Exactly.
I mean, I think, Matt, we were going to leak out a little bit. We might even be doing a cornhole tournament at this
Yeah.
thing, which I
I hope
love
it works
that
out.
game. And yeah,
You're
if
the
it
cornhole
works out,
king.
I
I've
have a
seen,
plan of how we could have a very organized, amazing tournament for more than 300 people
yeah.
simultaneously.
Yeah.
Bags will be flying everywhere. It'll be a blast.
That's awesome. I've seen you run cornhole tournaments before. multiple times,
Yeah.
and you definitely are the
Yeah.
cornhole king. And it is a really
Yeah.
fun game. It really does bring, just gets people laughing. It gets people building a relationship. There's something about it. I think
Yeah.
it's just because it's a very simple game, and you're looking at
Yeah.
people in the eye, across from you.
Yeah.
You're kind of got the person
Yeah.
next to you throwing bags, but there's something that really is bonding. I was actually just on a retreat this past weekend, and I will say, there were like 15 people at this retreat, and everyone was kind of awkward with each other for a while
Right.
until
Yeah.
someone pulled out 2 sets of cornhole, and we started playing cornhole. And after
Yeah.
that, the vibe and feel of the entire conference or the retreat I was on was different.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's just something about it. It just makes people feel comfortable. So anyways, hopefully we're going to be able to do that at Worship Innovators. If we don't do
Yeah.
a competition,
Yeah.
we're for sure going to have at least a couple boards in the lobby people can
Yeah.
throw around. So.
Oh man. Let me design the competition, because I have applied all my innovative spirit over 4 years to figure
Yeah.
out, and I've had worship leaders, like maybe people are listening, they're texting me going, Ryan, how did you do that? I want to do that for my choir.
Yeah.
And I'd be glad to help anyone,
That's
because
awesome.
it is all about breaking that kind of social awkwardness, especially with a group of people that is not all familiar with each other, and it breaks down barriers. That's what it's about for me.
You build
So
relationships.
yeah.
It's like auto meeting new people. It's really great. Like it just like
Yeah.
forces you to meet new people. And so anyways,
Yeah.
register now, go to worshipinnovators.com, get your ticket. And again, if you want to enter to win, we're going to give 2 tickets away. And the
Yeah.
way to enter to win is type down in the comments, wherever you're watching this video, Facebook, YouTube, type down in the comments, what is one thing that you struggle with your worship ministry or worship team? And I'm talking like just what's one like obstacle that you face? Like our rehearsals are horrible, or sound checks don't go well, or we can't stay on the click, or there's a million things, right, in worship ministry that can go wrong.
Yeah.
So
Now,
write
Matt,
down.
if I don't mind, you don't mind, I want to say, I think you're giving away tickets, but we're also giving away tickets. I don't know if they're like the same thing.
Yeah,
It might be
we'll
that
know.
people can double dip, because we're simulcasting this little interview here. So if you're catching the Praise Charts wave of this interview, we're putting a link in. It's way easier than Matt. You don't have to type anything. You don't have to like bare your soul. You could just click on the link and then enter this little contest. So
You
there you
guys
go.
already have a
We've
link
got an
put
option too.
together? Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome.
man. Like,
Man,
we're there.
you guys
And that
are
link
like
is gonna be in this.
You're way ahead of me. All right.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
I don't have a cool link. Ryan's got the cool link.
No. Yeah, you gotta tell
I'm
about
trying
your
to get the
worship
video to
leader
go viral.
problems to Matt.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's my struggle. I need a better linking system. All right, Ryan, great to see you, man. Great to hang out. I'll
This was
see you in
fun. Let's do it
person
again.
soon.
Yeah. Look
Come
forward
to
to it.
Worship Innovators, everybody. We'll see you soon.